Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulino Luna joins us now. Congresswoman, the fact is, since you guys passed this CR in the House, Chuck had no choice.
Correct. You know, everything that we've been talking about, the radical hijacking of the Democrat Party, could not be more evident in what's happening right now with the split in the Democrat Party. So we know, look, Chuck Schumer, a lot of people forget that I think President Trump gave him his first campaign check. So whether or not that influenced his decision to do the right thing and keep the government open. But look, if Democrats voted to shut it down, it would have been on them. It would not have been on the Republican Party. And all I can tell you is that right now in the Democrat Party, I think people like Hakeem Jeffries understand that the very small percentage of radical leftists do not represent the majority of Americans that voted largely in favor of President Trump's platform and policy, which is why he also won the popular vote.
True. He basically had this choice, Senator Schumer. If he said, OK, I'm shutting down the government, the OMB director will decide what to fund, along with the President of the United States. If you think the Democrats are angry about the CR, can you imagine if Donald Trump decides what to fund? We'll talk about that. But I want you to hear how angry and how unhinged Senator Schumer was today. Listen to this.
To have the conflict on the best ground we have, summed up in a sentence, that they're making the middle class pay for tax cuts for billionaires, it's much, much better not to be in the middle of a shutdown, which to divert people from the #1 issue we have against these bastards, these people, which is not only all these cuts, but they're ruining democracy.
Bastards. How do you feel about that?
You know, that's the type of rhetoric that gets people hurt. As you know, there's been an increase in threats. We saw just recently that those attacks actually carried over into destruction of property at Tesla dealerships. We know that Elon Musk, and also too, remember, President Trump, there was 2 assassination attempts on his life. But I just want to point out something and say that, look, the one thing as a member of Congress that's the most frustrating is these people, these radical leftists, are now activating disinformation campaigns across the country, actually using fear-mongering techniques, especially on issues of Social Security, saying that, you know, Doge or Republicans are trying to cut Social Security. That's not true. But what we are ending is fraud, waste, and abuse. And we'll continue to do that in protection of those programs for generations to come.
The word is efficiency. You're trying to get efficiency into Social Security. You're not talking about paychecks. Tim Walz, by the way, has made a decision.
Correct.
He is going to have a town hall in your district in Florida, in the 9th District, the failed vice presidential candidate. Are you worried? Can you put it into words?
You know, I'm not too afraid of him coming to my very Republican district in Pinellas County, but I will say, Tim, if you'd like to look to the sky, I'm sure there's going to be a welcoming messaging for you from yours truly, and that's going to be my hint.
And Congresswoman, I just hope the Speaker leads the charge to do things in a normal order, where you guys go through the budget process, all your committees, you put out a budget after the president gives his template, and come September, we go back to normal. Is that indeed possible?
You know, I hope that it is. The last time we had a balanced budget, I believe, was under Clinton, and that's simply unacceptable. Congress does need to do our job, and I hope that President Trump, with his leadership, as you know, he is the man. The art of the deal is in his blood. So I think if there's one person that can get Congress to do it, it's him. But again, if Congress doesn't want to do their jobs, then people need to consider, firing them.
All right, absolutely. You guys are the majority in both houses. All right, Congresswoman, thanks so much.